Warning! This podcast contains amazing content
and strong language.
Fuck people, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just put Johnny Cash on, mate.
Literally, like, if you wanted to hear that,
go home where you don't have to. I don't have to be around you, and just listen to Johnny Cash.
literally. I'm Natasha Jenkins.
And I'm Juliana Hopkins.
And you're listening to Back Catalogues. Today we have Conor Houston on with us. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm alright. How are you?
Good, I'm doing good. We're doing alright.
Yeah, good.
So, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit what about you and where you're from and how you started music?
Oh, God.
It's a long question.
Huge question, immediately. I'm from Sheffield, originally.
Nice.
And I sort of started doing music, God, I must have been 10 or something. I started playing guitar, which my mum sort of taught me. She plays guitar and piano and sings and all that kind of thing.
Cool.
And then I got in my first band when I was 11, I think. When I started secondary school. So that was like Metallica covers and Nirvana and Green Day and stuff like that.
Nice.
Linkin Park.
Oh, nice.
And that was with a bunch of year 11s, so they were all 15, 16. And then that kind of set the tone for the next few years, really. I was like always playing with people slightly older than me. Mm-hmm. When I was 15, I was playing with 20-year-olds and, and then it's sort of evened out now.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 27 now, so I'm due to die this year.
No,
aren't I?
You're so young looking, Conor. I would have not said you're 27.
It's all the makeup.
Oh, love that.
Loving the makeup.
Yeah, we've seen the videos. Oh, come all you faithful makeup tutorial. Honestly.
Oh, that was peak boredom. That.
See, we've been through everything of yours online because we always do a wee bit of research.
Stalking it's called.
Yes. And honest to God, we were on the couch last night like in hysterics at those videos. They're so funny. They're just
the
so
brown
funny.
sauce on the eyebrows was
perfection.
It was highly unpleasant to do that.
Did you get a lot in your hair?
Yeah, and then I was just kind of sat down afterwards in the kitchen and just sort of
contemplate life.
but like because I was like using like cream as well for that Instagram live. I spilt all of that onto my rug in here, so I had to get like a carpet cleaner thing and
not good. Oh God. No God.
But that sort of, it's funny because that sort of stuff stems from I've done that live. I've done actual gigs where I do stuff like that.
Do you?
What do you... sort of... Yeah, anyone who's not seen these videos on Facebook, check them out.
Yeah,
definitely worth it.
Definitely type it in and just have a little, leave an evening for yourself to just go through them. Yeah. God. No, but I was going to say, like, so if you've done it on stage, what were your audience reactions? Like, what was their reaction to that?
Well, the reason I started doing it is because if I was kind of performing acoustic sets, I find that can get quite boring if there's 4 people on a bill all playing acoustic. Yeah. Especially if it's all blokes as well and like shit. So I started just acting up and it started going down really well. It's funny because people would call it comedy and I don't know if I'd go that far because I don't know if it's laughter I'm trying to evoke.
It's good fun anyway to watch for sure.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Georgia was pissing herself, but she was really pissing herself.
Good, that's good. I'm glad.
I was more like, what? I was like, why? What a waste of double cream! Like, I was literally like...
Well, I did one gig sort of around Christmas time, and I was putting mince pies into a bowl of cream, and then just sort of taking one bite out of them. And then just stirring it into the cream, right?
That sounds good.
That sounds fucking
right. Okay. So cheap mince pies.
Mince pies and cream.
Yeah, but like on stage.
Yeah. Well, right, I did that, and then a few people walked out of this venue that I'm doing that. This was in Sheffield. And then a woman came up to me after, and she said, "What you've done tonight has really upset us."
Oh, really?
Right. And she said, "You're clearly a tosser.
Oh, that's a bit rude.
And when you grow up, you'll realise what a twat you've been."
Why? Okay, I wouldn't go like that far. I would like question it, but I wouldn't say that. What the fuck? That's so mean.
I think the implication was that a homeless person, for example, could have eaten these mince pies, but she doesn't know my.
Yeah, she doesn't know what you were doing with them afterwards.
Yeah, trust.
But they were, they were used. They were half eaten,
and
then also used to bring joy to a room full of drunk people. So I think that's fair use.
That's the best part of food.
Yeah,
is the joy that comes from it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's a communal thing, isn't it? I've never done it in London. I'm a bit worried about how it'd go down.
Oh, please do it.
I think people are a bit more precious about the time, aren't they? So like,
I'm coming to the gig if you do it.
Good, okay.
I'll come anyways.
One ticket sold.
I'm doing that thing tonight.
I'm doing that thing with the
I'll be there.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So can you tell us what instruments you play and what instruments you were brought up playing as well?
Yeah, we kind of sidetracked.
It's guitar mainly. I still sort of consider myself a guitarist, really. I've become a good singer, I feel, over the past probably 5 years or something like that. And then I can sort of bash away on piano and sort of do what I need. I'm not sure I'd ever do a gig on piano, but
You released an EP on piano, and we were listening to it, and I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah,
I'm classically trained at piano,
really
so
nice.
I was like, this is great.
Oh,
Loved
thank
it.
you. They sort of almost sound like short little exercises, almost, don't they?
Yeah. Do you own any strange instruments?
Oh, I'm supposed to say yes to that, aren't I? But I don't
You
think
can say
I do. Oh no! I tell you what. Yes, sort of.
What that? Oh my god, it's a beer keg.
It's a beer keg,
Right.
and I've been using it as percussion recently
Oh.
in a Slipknot type fashion.
So how do you play it?
Just with sticks.
Fair enough, yeah.
Am I right in
How
saying
would you play it?
I don't know, throw it across the room or something crazy.
yeah.
for Slipknot? Yeah, smack your head off it or something.
Just shake it.
Bite it, I don't know.
Yeah,
Throw double
right,
cream
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Do its makeup. I don't know.
Just maybe just place a mic in front of it and then stare at it.
Yeah.
Breathe on
It's
it
like
lightly.
a John Cage type
Yeah,
thing.
John Cage.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Am I right in saying that you play the didgeridoo? Because in your most recent track, is it the most recent one? You played the didgeridoo.
Yeah, that wasn't me on that. That was my housemate Joseph. That was his idea. He said, "Oh, I could just scream into my didgeridoo," and I said, "That's exactly what this needs." It was a lot of fun to do that. Track. Probably the weirdest thing I've done. I'm not sure I'll go that weird again. I might do.
But we liked it. It
don't
was
know.
like mesmerising.
Yeah.
We were like, what's going on? But we like this.
Now playing If I'd Known by Conor Houston.
I'm weather worn and beaten down. Erosion has set up shop. Faded from view, soaking wet through. This storm's an inside job. Every day's a school day, and not in a good way.
It's up to no good. It's up to no good.
Diminishing returns for whom it may concern.
It's up to no good. It's up to no good.
But if I'd known they were coming, I'd have shut the gates.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have shut the gates.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have hired a priest.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have hired a priest.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have f***ed them up.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have f***ed them up.
If I'd known they were coming, I'd have cranked it out and said, let's set the whole thing off.
Yeah, you were saying online that it's about living with OCD. Is that something you're trying to bring awareness to?
I don't know if I'm an activist or anything like that. No, I've never really written that many personal songs, and I was having a bit of a rough patch, and I thought, I wonder if it'll be worth trying to like put it into some kind of work. And it was sort of relieving in a way, momentarily. But the nature of OCD is that it does come back. But yeah, so like I don't think it's indicative of. I don't think I'm on a trajectory of doing lots of things that sound like that or are as bleak as that. But, it just sort of comes up when it comes up. And, like, I'm not going to fight it or push it or anything.
You just do it as it comes and as it feels comfortable. I think that's
just
a fair
way to express yourself.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
The track
it's interesting. I love kind of exploring, like, myself. When you just sort of realise something about yourself, like, I do that a lot, don't I? Like it's quite fascinating. It's quite an enjoyable sort of journey, really. And yeah, I mean, I'm quite stubborn in what I do personally. I don't know about yourselves, but you don't have to agree with me, but like I don't know if I'd. Not at this stage of my life anyway, like, I don't know if I'd be able to handle having a record deal. Because, I sort of tried to get into that world when I was about 21 and, had some major label interest. And then it just became apparent that we sort of didn't really align in terms of, it was like, I'm going to have to work with writers and I'm going to have to X, Y, Z. And I don't judge people who work with writers, and I also write with other people that want to be co-written with, but just for like, I think my stuff is so sort of idiosyncratic that I don't really want anyone else touching it, really, unless I say so.
We totally get that. I feel like when you go to a record label, they sort of look at you as a blank canvas, and how are they going to do you up? You're obviously a very creative person with all your different ideas and your different instruments, and I mean, we are too in our own ways, that it's just like, why would we ever go by what you're telling us to do, like writing with someone who's not on the same level as you creatively?
Yeah, you need the connection with someone when you're gonna
absolutely
do something with them.
So where do you see your musical career in the next 5 to 10 years? Would you like to be doing more session work or more solo stuff, or as you say, making a living? How do you see yourself?
Yeah, I think in terms of like financially, I would like it to be session stuff. I think I've done that. I've done touring as a guitarist, playing for people and stuff. I've got not as much experience as some people, but more than most. Just if I can sort of just carry on touring and playing loud guitar around the world,
living the life.
I'd be quite happy with that, I think. Why? What about yourselves? What are you touring. Are you both sort of aiming for?
100%. Spend my life on the tour bus.
On the road,
on the road.
I don't know. I actually was getting more, before this most recent lockdown in December, I was actually getting more into the business side of it, and I'd been offered a good job with my booking agency. I feel like I'm a bit of a nippy sweetie, so the business side like kind of stuck out, and I was like, fuck yeah, I can do that like really well. And I did a bit of repping as well, and I kind of like whipped a few people in place when I was on shift.
Yeah, Natasha can do that, definitely.
Quite good at that.
Yeah, good.
That's what my manager said to me, so I was like, fuck
I
it.
just do the drinking part.
Yeah, I just look after the juju. I look after juju.
I'll be with you on that.
Yeah. So I mean, if you ever need, I don't know, like a booking agent or something, it might be me.
Literally hustling on a podcast.
Literally, that's it. Hustle and plug and name and shame is like the topics of this podcast. It's so funny. Like every episode, someone gets fucking named and shamed.
God.
What music do you listen to at the moment? And can you recommend any new up and coming bands?
Oh God.
Tell us everything.
Yes.
No
Right.
secrets.
Okay. I'll preface this by saying I'm not a playlist person.
Right.
I listen to very little music on Spotify. My main source of music is BBC Six. I just kind of like have that on all day.
Yeah.
That's a vibe.
So, like, I mean, who's on there at the minute? They still play Fontaine's DC a lot. don't they?
Yay! We love Fontaines.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like Sleaford Mods. I've seen them a couple of times.
Sleeper mods are great.
Nadine Shah as well. I really like. I mean, closer to home, like there's a couple of ICMP people that I really like. Rose Mayer, who did masters last year at songwriting.
Okay.
Her solo stuff's great, and I played. That was my very last gig before lockdown. We did a church in West Hampstead for So Far Sounds.
Oh, nice.
And her stuff's great, and then she's also got like a dream pop band project as well that's really good. And then I really like Jazz Beaton as well. She's that kind of folk pop type.
Yeah.
vibe.
It's hard to go with what you hear on the radio, I think, because you have to like pay attention to the. It's not like Spotify where you can see what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
like,
our kitchen's all.
I've got to sit and wait until the end, and then so they announce or kind of like look at the little screen
when it says what's playing.
Wait for it to roll around. And
Yeah, because it never comes on time,
shit.
and you're like, this isn't this song.
And then it's just like. But then it'll just say BBC Six Music round and round.
And you're like,
times. So it's like, and then it's going to flip back to the song. I'll sit and wait. But then the song finishes, so like,
I know,
kind
it's
of exciting.
You know when they're like, texting the song suggestions
Oh,
and stuff. We're always like,
quick!
And then we take like about 10 minutes to choose, and then the suggestion time is over.
It's like that's you finished until next Sunday.
We're
and we're
like,
like, whoa!
Yeah.
we plan all these songs, and then we never know what to say.
Yeah, we have too many options where we're like, what
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
pick ours, and then everyone thinks that's shit, and then that's what we're like. And the kitchen as well, so funny. It's always in the kitchen. The Radio 6 is always
with
on
the
in
washing
kitchen.
machine in the back as well, adding some bass.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Now playing Outside the Grocery Store by Conor Houston.
Does it feel good now that you're famous? Did you hope you'd get your star on the walk of fame? Sir, this isn't showbiz. You have to take your work home at the end of every day. Angels coming after them. Right where you slaughter them. With your head held high
And your heart's down low.
with your head held high.
And your heart's down low.
Mama, take this badge from him. He can't be trusted anymore. Mama, take this badge from him. He can't be trusted anymore. His grip was tight. His teeth were closed. Engage the safety catch for him outside the grocery store. Do you ever spare your thoughts for them and think of all the different ways they've died to date?
Is it the EP or your first album where you're in the green suit? And the green...
with the mug. Yeah.
That is like, we were talking about this last night because I was like, green is my favourite colour, and I was like, oh, look at that power suit. I was like, oh,
with that eyeshadow.
vibe.
Green eyeshadow.
Yeah.
The green
That's
mug.
class. I want that eyeshadow.
I was like, I want that suit. I was like loving the whole thing.
I want that mug.
That was a long time ago. That I took that photo about 6-7 years ago, something like that.
You literally have not changed at all.
I know.
What's your secret? Botox, tell us.
Chocolate, probably.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I thought it was mince pies and cream.
Well, okay, if you're genuinely asking me that, I've never smoked. I wonder if it's that. That could
do we
be
look
part
old?
of it.
Yeah, I look fucking haggard for 21 because I smoke bags.
Oh, shall I say no? I'm supposed to say no. No, you look great. I'm starting to get little, around my eyes.
That's laughter lines though. That's allowed.
Okay, yeah, that's what I tell myself. Yeah.
That's what everybody with those tells themselves.
Yeah,
I think we've all got them when we smile. It just shows. My granny always says that you should age gracefully because they're the lines that show how much fun you've had and how much laughter you've had in your life.
Yeah, because some people do get a frown mark, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is
shows that
very
they're a grumpy bastard, obviously.
Yeah, I'll never have that one.
No, because you get fringe. I think Juju's onto a winner.
Yeah, I'm
here.
hiding all my wrinkles. It's like crazy under there.
When I was 17, I sent off a PDF, right, to session fixers who kind of sort all the auditions out. And it just had a really naff photo, and then it said, I am Conor and I play guitar and I've got this equipment and I've done this, which was very little at that point. And then 3 years later, I got a response from one of them.
What?
Saying, oh great, just read this. Do you want to audition for this artist? And I almost said no. because I thought, what's this? And I sort of scrolled down. I was like, oh God.
How the hell did they find that
thing.
3 years on?
3 years.
I don't know, unless it had just been kept in a file or something. And then it was like, oh, we need guitarists.
Oh, shit.
Just picked a few out. And then, so I auditioned for this artist that was on Polydor at the time. That was on Halloween of whatever year it was, and then I got called back for a second audition on Bonfire Night, and then a couple of weeks later we were in New York.
Oh my God.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Mental, isn't it? So it was a really sort of random way in for me. But in terms of advice, I think the sort of the tried and tested advice is sort of play functions and stuff, because you get to just meet musicians and go to Ronnie's to do the jam on a Tuesday and all that kind of thing, and you just get to know people, and that's kind of it really. Annoyingly, it is just about getting your face out there. And then in terms of playing, I suppose just trying to know what you offer compared to everybody else. I mean, I've never taught an instrument to anyone, but I've kind of had mates where they play a bit of piano and they've asked for a bit of help. And I always suggest just learn loads of songs in C.
Right,
so
okay.
Learn Don't Look Back in Anger and Imagine and
the best songs, obviously.
What the best songs? The two best songs of all time, yeah. Because you notice it's they all do that there, or transpose loads of songs into C, and then you realise that a lot of people do the same things all the time, and when you know that, that's a lot of the work, because if you can hear something coming, it's well, I know that's going to be G, isn't it, next?
Yeah,
so
a lot of the same intervals and stuff, for sure.
Kind of training your ear and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's
and
really
I think that does just come from doing music. Really.
Yeah, learning from playing. So, do you produce your own music?
Oh, yes, I think is the answer. And then I do as much of the mixing as I'm capable.
Okay.
And then we'll sort of send some stems off to someone else to finish the mix and to master it. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, in terms of the vision of the sound, yeah, I do kind of do that myself. So always have done, really, as well. I've always just seen it as part of the music making, really. Like even when I was in indie bands and stuff, like I would always be like layering guitar parts, because like the other guitarist / vocalist would just be very average, and like, so I'd have to do all the heavy lifting. Yeah. And so I think it probably came from there, like just thinking about, right, what do we need now to lift the song, and then, you know, and harmonies and all that kind of stuff. So it probably came from there, and then when I started doing my own stuff, you know, and Logic and blah blah blah, and you just saying that. Up until 2016, I was using Windows XP.
No way, were you actually?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a janky software. I couldn't imagine like using anything other than Logic.
I mean, I mix in Pro Tools, which I've had to start doing since starting the production course. And I just really love Pro Tools now. Pro Tools looks a bit like Excel or something,
like Windows 95.
It's like spreadsheet vibes, but I kind of like the certainty of it. Like it doesn't really feel like a toy. But I still compose stuff in Logic and produce in Logic.
What is your recording process like for your music? So specifically your two songs, Loose End Lovers and Problem Plays. We both love those tracks, so we're going to ask you about those ones specifically.
Really nice tracks.
Loose End Lovers is old. People still love that one.
That's good though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, it's fine. I've got nothing. I'm not one of these people that just
all of them.
Yeah, well, I don't automatically think that like my newest stuff is my best. Like, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Loose End Lovers. That was done on Windows XP.
Nice. All right.
I'm being slightly misleading there. Like, I recorded lots of DI guitar tracks and MIDI into some software called Adobe Audition.
Right.
Which is predominantly used for radio, I think, from what I understand. Okay. But this was like version 1.5, and it was like from the late 90s or something.
Yeah.
And it was like my parents' computer that I inherited. And I sort of did it on that and just recorded DI guitar tracks with like no processing and then MIDI information, and then took them to a producer and then kind of ran the guitars through my actual guitar amp and mic'd it up, and then used all the Logic sounds, like kind of put the MIDI into some Logic tracks. And so I did all the composition at home without actually being able to hear what it was going to be like.
Oh, really?
And then sort of trusted that we'd find the appropriate sort of sounds.
Yeah.
And then the drumming isn't me. That was a friend of mine in Sheffield called Paul Jackson, who's a great drummer and has played live with me a few times as well. Yeah, and he just kind of played along to what I'd already done. And that was that for that one. And then Problem Plays I did in ICMP. Like kind of did some rough tracks at home and then went into the studio and did vocals, acoustic guitar and percussion live. Like the kick and the snare on that are programmed, but the ride cymbal and the hi-hat are real. Okay. And it almost kind of makes the entire kit sound real then, because you've got enough feeling coming from the cymbals. That I think that's often what gives programmed drums away is the cymbals.
Yeah, the hi-hat is just
if I can at least get and I'm not that precious about like having it completely organic or whatever. It's just I always think, what's the easiest and most efficient way for me to do something? Like I'm quite lazy about it, and I'll use preset sounds on stuff, and I'm not particularly precious about that kind of thing. And just the thought of me trying to mic up a drum kit
Disaster.
I thought, I don't want to risk it. I'll just use triggered kick and snare and just do cymbals and record them like individually. But it worked. I I don't think I'm a model student in that sense, but
if it works for you, it works, baby. That's how it is.
Yeah, but then from there, like, I mixed it as much as I could, and then sent it to one of the ICMP lecturers, actually, Jamie Ellis. I don't know if you'll have come across Jamie or not. You probably didn't really cross paths, but he's a great mixer, and he's done like the past 3 of my singles. And I've got a couple more coming out as well.
Nice.
That he's mixed.
Now playing Loose End Lovers by Conor Houston.
Can you tell us more about your song Outside the Grocery Store? We read online that it's about the death of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement.
God. I don't like being political in my songs. So I thought, how could I wrote that just as all that was kicking off and all the protests, and it was just bothering me every day. And I thought, I'm going to need to write about it just so I can draw some sort of mental line under it. You know, not in the sense of like, I don't need to worry about that anymore.
No, of course not.
But just in, it was sort of consuming my day so much. I thought, if I need to do something about that.
Yeah, mental
my own
release.
benefit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I thought, I don't want to be preachy. I'm not a Bob Dylan fan or that kind of thing. The only sort of political outfit that I enjoy is Rage Against the Machine. But so I thought, how can I go about it where I'm not saying one thing or another? So I just tried to write it from like the point of view of a police officer, and the kind of thoughts that someone like that might have, like when they get home from work or whatever, and the kind of things they might say to themselves.
That's really interesting.
That's really interesting.
And then there was sort of like, there's some references to, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Yeah, like lyrically kind of borrowed things from there, which is like a Plantation song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then sound wise, there's like a seagull sample in there.
Yeah, we saw in the music video.
Lots of seagulls.
Yeah.
I was picturing like ports, so like slave ships and stuff.
Right, okay.
Like,
Yeah, because we watched the video and I was like really interested in like sort of not the dissonance of it, but it's like a discord in the images used. Like there's a lot of harsh images that you wouldn't naturally correlate to they wouldn't correlate together. There's no correlation between them. Did you have like a reasoning behind the visuals that were used?
Well, I think like harshness, like you said, I just wanted things that looked a bit uncomfortable in general. I mean, the seagulls, I think, and the kind of the waves crashing were the only definite things for me. I think everything else, like the soldering iron.
Yeah, that's the one that they had the metal. Yeah.
I just thought it looked quite sort of aggressive.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked that. And then there's the flamingos.
Yeah.
That was one thing. I wanted animals kind of wrestling, fighting.
Yeah. Like it's like unrest.
An animalistic thing.
Yeah. The whole thing sort of gives you that vibe of like unrest, unresolved, sort of like this doesn't add up, but it does kind of vibes, which is really. I mean, it was amazingly done. I think it was so.
Oh, thank you.
It was really good. So good.
I did sort of. That was just stock footage actually, and I thought, how can I use stock footage and. Yeah, even the flamingo. Do you know what? I know. Would you believe it? I didn't actually go out and
No, I can't believe that.
I'm disappointed.
She's sad.
But yeah, like I thought, how can I make it look as unstock as possible? So that's why I did like the square frame and put everything in black and white, and I tried to try and tie it in, and it's not as good as it could be had I spent some money on it, but
we really enjoyed it.
We really enjoyed it.
Well, quite evocative, I thought. You know?
Yeah, it definitely was.
The keys things is really interesting. I always think that when there's like a bare metal sound added to the track, added to any track, it gives it more of like a, not necessarily eerie vibe, but it does. Like Fontaine's DC and Sunny used steak knives and and one of the things. So the keys thing with the chains is really cool, man.
Well,
really cool.
Thank you. I didn't know that about Fontaine's DC
it's
doing
really
that.
Quiet in the track, but it is there.
Right. Well, what track was it again?
Sunny. You know the song Sunny?
Right.
Such a good song.
It's such a good song.
I'm going to listen to that after.
Yeah.
I really like someone called Scott Walker. Right.
Joanna, I love you.
Juliana.
That's my song.
That song. So good.
Now, I like that side of him, the 60s stuff. But are you familiar with his like experiments?
Yeah, he has weird shit as well.
Yeah. Have you seen the clip of? It's like a notorious clip now, but where he's making his drummer punch a dead pig.
No, I haven't seen that. What do you have to type in online to see that?
Yeah, is that on the dark web?
Scott Walker meat punching.
So what made you want to do a live recorded album at the Lead Mill in Sheffield? Who did you play with? Like, how come you wanted it live? What's that?
That was a headline show.
Oh!
Yeah, I mean, it's all right being locally famous though, isn't it? But it's not really indicative of having a wider career. It was good though. Like, we packed out the small room, so there was about 300 people there or something like that.
That's class.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I still remember that fondly that night. And I don't know, I just really liked the idea of a memento more than anything. Like, I didn't play many live solo shows with a band.
Okay.
I thought, I could really do with documenting it, and I might be able to use it to prove that, I'm capable.
You've actually done it.
So like, because I had it filmed as well. It's like, look, no, I can do it. Like, even though you don't have that much opportunity to see me do it with a band, like I wanted to have something that I could still show people. So I suppose that was the reason, really. Because I, having the sort of session musician background, I sort of believe people should be paid where they can, and I just feel so guilty, like I say no to people a lot that want me to play for them, unless it's something that I really, really love.
Okay.
Just because I feel like it's important to try and set some sort of standard, and it does mean that I probably miss out on stuff, but like, it's like, if you're not gonna even give me 30 quid, like
yeah, I mean there's a line that needs to be drawn.
Yeah, it's good to say yes, but you have to have your limits.
Yeah, exactly.
That's totally understandable.
But you know, with me kind of setting that boundary for myself, it means that I feel awful about doing it to other people. So, you know, that was kind of the reason I don't do many live shows with a band, because it's like, I can't do a tour and be paying them like 120 quid a night.
No. Yeah. I think it goes back to where it all really stems from, is the venues and how fairly they treat the musicians.
But I almost feel like there's too many venues sometimes, or too many places that think they're a venue.
Right, okay. No, that's a fair point.
So it's like, oh, we'll have a slice of that. We'll open a place that has live music. And what happens is that it kind of skews the supply and demand, and you know, music fans think, well, why would I pay for a ticket when this place is just offering music for free?
Yeah.
And then, you know, these slots need filling with bands, so then they take any old band. They're not necessarily a band that are good, or, you know, and literally. Bands need a place to start, obviously, and to develop, but I think sometimes it's like people don't want to risk going to a gig because they think, oh, what if it's rubbish? And I just wonder if there's some improvements to be made in terms of like...
Aye, definitely.
Because if you go to a jazz night, for example, people will pay 20 quid to go to a jazz night in London because they know it's going to be of a standard, and like it's going to sound good, and they're going to be well looked after, and it's going to be a nice venue, and blah, 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 blah. And people will do that. Whereas I think in rock and pop, like, bands really struggle because it like people... It's hard to get people to come to gigs, isn't it? Because there's just so much of it at any given time.
It's a bit oversaturated.
In France, for example, like, the law is that when you play a gig there, the venue has to pay each musician €80 at least.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Which is really good. So there's less places to play because less places can afford to pay musicians at least 80 quid each. But then, like, the venues will be more packed out, and... Yeah, and then you can actually afford to, I don't know, take your equipment to the show.
Yeah, there's, you know,
have a beer.
There's merits to both things, I think, isn't there? Because, you know, I know I was grateful starting out when I wasn't very good that places would have me, and I had somewhere to learn. You know, so if there was an in-between place that we could exist, I think that would be really good. And I think it would also help the gender balance as well, because whenever I see bands that are kind of either all female or have women in them, they tend to be good, right? And I think it's, again, like, I only sort of half think this, but it's almost as if it's not that there isn't enough female acts, it's just that there's too many male acts. Like, you could cull a lot of them, and it would bring the average standard of musicians up. Like, you know, it's just that men just get away with a lot more. Like, if you're a woman, you sort of have to be good. Whereas men, it's just like, oh, you can just do any old shit, and like, people will still let you play.
You're right. You hear that a lot coming from a man as well. Like, it's a nice thing to hear. I think a lot of the times you're totally right though, and even in the production world, I think it's like 2% of producers are female, and that are
I read that recently.
And it's like, it's crazy. What the fuck? Like, how is that even like? How is that a thing? But I guess it's exactly what you've just said. I think that you are expected to raise your standards.
If you're a female producer, it's like, what? You're a female and
but
you
even
do production? Or you're a drummer?
Yeah, a drum. Like, with drums, it's like, oh, you're a drummer? Or...
You're good for a girl.
Fuck off.
I mean, it's funny because I never really hear those sorts of remarks, but I think the reason for that is I don't tend to associate with the kind of people that would say that remarks. Kind of thing.
Exactly.
But like at the end of a gig, like some random person comes up like, oh, you're good for a girl drummer.
And they're like, fuck off.
It's a
just say you enjoyed it. Fuck you.
I know, just say it was good.
Literally.
I know.
Yeah,
funny.
It's really annoying. So, how and when did you join the Sheffield Beatles project?
Oh, now then. I love talking about this.
Oh,
it's
bless
so
you.
much fun. 2018, I first did that.
Right.
It's really weird because I was like chatting to one of the other singers who I knew did it. And I said, this is the sort of thing I should be doing. Why aren't I doing that? And then, like a couple of days later, one of the other members texted me and said, "Oh, one of our singers has left. Do you want to join?"
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, that's really strange." And I don't think there was some sort of communication like, "Oh, should we get Conor?" It was just really weird timing. And, you know, I think I knew probably 4 or 5 of them already. 3 or 4, actually. And, yeah, we do like an annual Christmas show. And then like a summer festival slot as well in Sheffield. So 2 gigs a year, really, because it's quite difficult to coordinate 30 people.
Yeah, we watched the videos and it was like, fuck, that stage is pretty busy on that stage.
We saw the lockdown video as well. That was really cool.
That was sick.
Oh yeah, the All You Need Is Love one. Yeah. That was like early lockdown when people weren't bored of those types of videos.
Literally.
But yeah, like it, you know, the original idea was celebrating 50th anniversaries of Beatles albums. So there was 2 before I joined. It started in 2016. So the first one was Revolver, and then they did Sgt. Pepper. And then I joined on the White Album.
Oh, the White Album's amazing though.
Yeah,
I love the Beatles.
I'd never really listened to any of really until I had to learn it all.
Oh my god,
it's great.
It's great.
So
they were
varied.
like my big thing when I was growing up. When I was like 8 years old, I was obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I knew all the words to all the albums, and like every Christmas, as you said before, buying CDs. I used to ask for the CDs, and they're just class. Like they're just so good. White Album was like perfect time to join. Personally, I would be like, want to watch.
There's like a lot to get your teeth into, and like the harmonies and stuff. Yeah, just bonkers. But and then we did 2019. We did Abbey Road and Let It Be.
Okay.
And the reason we did both, and I probably shouldn't say this, but we thought Let It Be is not good enough an album to warrant an entire gig dedicated to it. So we sort of combined it with Abbey Road.
That's cool.
And then like December just gone, we were supposed to do a concert, but it's been pushed back an entire year until next December. And in a true Alan Partridge fashion, we're doing the best of the Beatles.
Oh, love it.
So we're doing like the Blue album, which is kind of like all the later, the latter half of their stuff. So assuming that goes ahead in December, that'll be fun.
That'll be good.
We do it at the O2 Academy in Sheffield.
Oh, I'd love to come and see that. Oh my god. What is your funniest musical or gigging experience? Do you have like a funny thing to tell us that's happened?
I've got all kinds of anecdotes. Funny and cool.
Oh, well then tell us.
Shall I rattle some off? Okay.
Yes.
I've fallen quite spectacularly on stage before.
Oh god.
I did a musical theatre production.
Ooh.
Called the 27 Club.
Yeah, we saw that. Who did you play?
Bear with me here. Mick Jagger.
No way.
Okay.
Which the reason for that is because Brian Jones, the guitarist, died at 27.
Okay.
Right. It's a bit tenuous because no one really knows who he is. Because everything else in the show was like Jim Morrison, Janis,
Amy Winehouse.
Kurt,
yeah, all the big ones. Yeah.
So it was like Brian Jones. This is actually just a Mick Jagger bit, isn't it? It's an excuse to have an exciting Mick Jagger section of the show.
So how did you?
I was sort of like the focal point of it. But that was fun. We sort of did that in Hamburg a few times, and then we also did it in Cologne and then Zurich as well.
Okay.
And we would sort of typically do like a month in a theatre. Like
fuck, that's a lot.
7 shows a week.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, costume changes and all that.
Ooh, yes.
But like one night, and it's on my Instagram, so if you scroll far enough down, you'll see it. I just happened to take a little home video camera on stage, just because I did sometimes, just to like capture little bits. So it was like for the encore, and like we all ran on together, and I just shoved it down, and then ran, and then just like slipped down some stairs and landed on my back. Like,
did they catch it on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And I've kind of memed it, looped it round and round, zooming in.
So did everyone in the audience see that happening?
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, I was like centre of the stage, flat on my back. And then I don't know, other stuff like the tour I did right before lockdown was great. I was playing for an American artist called Evan Barlow, who's like somewhere between Johnny Cash and Eminem.
Oh, okay.
That's somewhere between. Yeah.
That's like chalk and cheese.
There's like sort of acoustic guitars and then some rock guitars as well, but then sort of like trap beats and stuff, and he sort of all this fast rapping and stuff.
Okay.
Quite strange music, but really great. And we did this European tour supporting this Glasgow band called Saint Phoenix. I don't know if
Saint Phoenix. I feel like I've heard that name before.
They're a duo. They're like a Imagine Dragons type. That was a great tour. Went all around Europe, and then sort of came back to England. Did Camden Assembly a week after you did with Pinch.
Hey, I love Camden Assembly. Apparently it's closed down now forever.
Oh no!
It was such a nice place.
So sad.
That is sad. Because the downstairs is great as well.
Yeah, everywhere's great.
Oh, no.
But then the upstairs green rooms are always like
mad the mad parties up there. Oh,
yeah. It's great. Great place. That's really sad that. I shouldn't have said anything.
You're probably more
prefer to be ignorant about that.
Yeah, you'll probably find out though.
Yeah, most people living in this house have worked at Camden Assembly.
Not me though. I just got my coats taken for free from James. Thanks, James.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. But did something funny happen in Camden Assembly?
No. Just sort of that tour in general was just quite mad because like it was all these like kids and like I was getting like fan art and like
how young are kids though?
Yeah, sort of like kind of 14 to.
Oh,
to
okay.
And like I was getting like Instagram fan pages made about me.
Wow, that's so cute. That's fucking mental. What the hell?
And you know it was quite. I got a bit sort of like anxious about it all after a while. But it was a fun tour. Like I thought it was going to be the kind of tour where there was like 40 people sort of stood arms crossed at the back. No. But it wasn't. It was all people like screaming. I was like, this is great.
Good.
That's
like, yeah.
That's good.
So that was good. Met Ozzy Osbourne once. That was
fun.
Hey, how?
Come on then, let's do all the name drops. We were in LA and just with an artist that I was playing for and rehearsing for some stuff. And Ozzy's daughter Amy, the one that wasn't in the show, was rehearsing with her band in the room next door. And our bass player went out for a fag and sort of came back in and said, I don't know if you're bothered about this kind of thing, but Ozzy Osbourne's outside. And I thought, I am bothered about this kind of thing. and just went out and literally just said hello, and then a limo pulled up, Sharon got out, she went, Ozzy! And then sort of like hauled him into it and then drove off and I never saw him again.
That's a shame you never got a picture or anything with him.
No, but I'll tell you what, right, all my little name drops, like big names but kind of rubbish anecdotes. I kind of prefer that. I think people would rather hear that than like, I had this amazing party with X.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Like it's like, I sort of met this bloke, but then not really.
Like it was a brief passing kind of a.
Did he say hello back?
Like, well, yeah, he did. Yeah, but that was
it.
That's all he had chance to do before like he was
Bless him.
Escorted away. I think I walked past David Bowie once.
Really? Okay, so that's a think maybe.
Why is it a think?
Because it was in New York.
Right.
And it was... I've studied everything about him. Right? So I kind of knew approximately where, like, the area.
So you were stalking him. Let's just get it out here.
I just happened to be down there because I'd rented a guitar and I was taking it back. And I thought, I'm going to walk to this place. And it was like 30 blocks away. But I thought, you know, I don't want to just sit in a taxi on my phone. I'll walk it and walk around. And then I went to get some food, and I like went into this like fast food place, and then came out, and there was this man, like in a black puffer jacket and a flat cap and shades, and it was snowing, and he took his shades off to wipe the snow off.
Right.
And I saw the eye.
Oh, the dilated pupil, yeah.
I was like, and then I looked, and I thought,
oh, it's
you. It is you. It's actually you. So I did what any sane person would do, and I just ran away.
Oh, no! Did you get scared? Did you get nervous?
Yeah, I thought, I don't want to even find out if it was him or not.
You just want to go and give the guitar back?
Yeah. I don't want to give myself the option. So I'll just pace away.
Bless your cotton socks, that's so cute. Oh.
So we also saw that you played with the artist Jetta. You were on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's mad, isn't it? I know. Like, I still dine out on that. Like,
really?
do you know what I mean? I still kind of, like, use that, even though it was, you know, one would argue that if I was like a true session musician, I'd have loads of those types of things under my belt, and I wouldn't feel the need to mention it. Maybe I don't know.
No, that's really cool.
That's a brilliant achievement as well. Like,
it was great, and we had Prince's sound engineer for it, which was it was really weird because we filmed it in the daytime,
right,
and then met Jimmy.
Right.
And the guest that night was Aaron Paul, Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I think his show, they only have one guest per evening.
Is it?
I
don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure.
Prefer Jimmy Fallon.
Name and shame, baby. That's how we do it.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. Like, because it's on Hollywood Boulevard as well, where they filmed that. So it's where the Walk of Fame is and stuff. So I naturally went to find David Bowie. And,
of course.
You know, all that. And but what's amazing about Hollywood, and it again, typical Northern English bloke to kind of point this out over and above everything else, but it's a bit like Skegness.
What the fuck?
Or do you know what I mean? Or like Portsmouth or something.
Yeah.
It's like tack shops selling postcards and fridge magnets.
Yeah.
And there's like seagull shit everywhere. And like it's just, and it's full of like people who aren't from there. Like
tourists and that. I know.
Yeah.
That's mental. I love it when you get like that though, when you go to somewhere and you're like, for fuck's sake, there's all these fucking tourists, and you're like, I'm a tourist. Like, you forget that like you're actually a tourist.
Yeah.
Fucking hate these magnet shops with buys loads of magnets.
and just like loads of like Elvis Presley stuff. And,
of course, like,
you know what I mean? I mean, it is still amazing. I'm not knocking it at all, but it did amuse me. I was like, oh, this is. But then, like, one street down is Sunset Boulevard, which is like the rock and roll street.
Now playing Problem Plays by Conor Houston.
Hamlet took up heroin. Macbeth props up the bar. Barry and his brothers penned a tune for them. Then steps went forth to make a facsimile. These days are like problem plays. No fixed abode, just fixed term agreements and tender insults wrapped in
a favourite venue that you've played at so far?
Brixton Academy's good.
Nice.
We did that with Jetta. We were supporting John Newman.
Right.
Do you remember John Newman?
No.
We did.
Whoops.
It was sold out. Come on, guys.
I don't remember this.
It was. He did. I need to know now. Will you love me again?
Oh no! Actually, I do know that song. I thought it was going to be one.
Yeah. So like he was doing like a UK tour, and like we did Brixton, we did like Manchester Apollo, and did a great place called Bridlington Spa in Bridlington, and it's like seaside town, and it's like this old, almost like music hall type, old 1940s wartime kind of venue.
Okay.
Just beautiful place. That was a great one. But then size isn't everything. It is though, isn't it?
When it comes to this topic, yes. No, I'm joking. It's not. No, you can't. I mean, it could be like
Which
anything.
topic are you on about now?
We're on the music. Still on the music. God,
music
Conor.
only.
Right.
God, Conor.
No, I mean, there's some great venues in Sheffield, like the Lead Mill's great, and then I do happen to love Camden Assembly. There's a place in Manchester called the Deaf Institute, which was going to be shut down, but somebody saved it.
Okay, good.
Like last autumn, like it kind of like went bankrupt in the summer, and then
somebody saved it.
Someone did a whip around and saved it. That's a great place. It's an old deaf institute, funnily enough, being called the Deaf Institute. So they just kind of like that typical Manchester red brick type thing, but then like beautiful sort of engravings in the in like on the like facade and that kind of thing. What's some of your favourite venues then?
Oh, I don't know. You're better at this than I am.
I really like the Barrowlands in Glasgow.
The Barrowlands.
So was that supporting
the Libertines? Yeah.
The Libertines, yeah.
Yeah,
how was that? Like, how was that tour in general?
That was really cool. Actually, the Barrowlands was probably the one where there was the least people, because they had to check everyone for knives and stuff at the start, so it was
it took forever for people to get in. They took my film camera off me, like my old-fashioned film camera, which like like the woman looked at it and was like, no, you can't have this in, it's a professional camera. I was like, but it's film, like it actually uses film canisters, like a spool. She was like,
let me assure you it's dog shit.
Yeah, like I can't film. I think she thought I was going to record the whole thing, and I was like, but everybody's got a phone in their pocket. They would do 10 times the job this camera would do. I was fucking raging. I remember that.
Yeah. That was a great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I'd love to play there. That's been there forever, that venue.
It used to be a dance hall, so it's one of the only venues that still has like springs under the floor. Like it's got like a bouncing floor for when people used to like obviously dance like on the dance and whatever. So it's one of the only venues left that has the original flooring that's like slightly bouncing. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's an amazing venue to play.
But yeah, I'd say in local venues, definitely Camden Assembly has been my favourite.
Yeah.
You go.
Do you have anything coming out, anything exciting that you'd like to talk about?
For final question of the evening.
Just a couple of singles that I'm going to be putting out. One in May and then one in, I don't know, like July or
whenever
something.
You can be arsed.
I'm rubbish at promoting myself.
We'll promote you.
What are they called? Is it a secret?
No, not. I'm just not. I don't. It's embarrassing.
No, it's not. Plug yourself. We always have a part where you plug yourself. It's just the rules.
Right. Well,
you have to. You have to.
I thank God. I've said no. All I will say is that I just recommend that people just have a rummage through everything that I've released already, and to just keep an eye out for more, because I have got more coming out. Well, and then also come to Sheffield in December for the Beatles project.
Yes. No, I actually seriously will do that, because they're my favourites ever. So
nice. Probably sort you a free ticket.
Oh yeah,
and me as well.
Yeah, we'll come as a pair.
Yeah.
Tell everyone your what your handles are, where they can find you. So
They are all at Conor Houston Music. Make sure you spell Conor properly. It's only got one N.
The right way. Get on.
The correct Irish way.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been Back to Back Catalogues. I'm Natasha Jenkins.
I'm Juliana Hopkins.
And we've been talking to Conor Houston. Thank you so much. We've had such
Thanks
a great
for having
time.
me. This has been wonderful.
You. Oh, good.
I didn't think we'd get on such a roll with it.
Yeah,
I
of course.
It would be a bit awkward, but it wasn't, was it?
It wasn't. No, never awkward with us.
Never awkward with us ever.
It was great. Thank you so
much.
You're
welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it was lovely to meet you and speak to you.
Chat with you. Definitely catch up when it's legal. You should come here for boozers and stuff. Have a drink with us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.